welcome to the first episode of Unconventional Angler. I'm your host, Grant Marsh. I've been meaning a long time to do a series of YouTube videos because I've been watching, I watch YouTube religiously for fishing information. It's one of the best places to find it, and sometimes there's things I can't find, such as Alabama rigs for walleye, which I think there's one video out there and it was a complete fail. So first, I want to explain to you what our channel is going to be about. It's called Unconventional Angler. We're here in Nebraska, and I grew up here fishing for walleye, bass, pretty much anything that'll bite, but focusing walleye on bass. And we would, for walleye fishing, we'd go out, find a good drop-off, anchor up the boat, and jig night crawlers until the cows came home. And yeah, we caught some fish sometimes. But as soon as that bite shut off, that was it for the year. The walleye bite was over. And I've learned in the meantime that there's a lot better ways to go about it, especially when to find big fish. So I've created this channel to help you and help myself learn about finding bigger fish and a more aggressive bite. I moved to Texas for 3 years and focused solely on bass fishing for that whole 3 years. And in Texas, it's a whole different ballgame. Bass is king down there. I mean, there's 3 lakes in the whole state that even have walleye. So I was down there and I'd soaked up every bit of information I could on how to catch bass. And in those lakes, you have essentially 2 types of fish. You have a fish that the vast majority of anglers target, that stay shallow year-round, and you catch them on your typical plastic worm spinnerbaits. But a good percentage of the fish, especially in the summertime and the wintertime, live out deep, like the walleye do here. And it got me to thinking that there might be a better way to do this. So I'm going to start fishing the walleye like I do the deep bass in Texas. They're both predators. Lo and behold, walleye, a lot of the walleye, if you look at studies, live shallow year-round. So there's fish to catch there, and there's the walleye that live out deep. They both eat the same forage, the bass and the walleye. So they're going to frequent the same areas where the shad and other bait fish live. Here in Nebraska, we have gizzard shad as the main forage. There's some just minnows. We have some leeches. In the springtime, there's mayfly hatch, and there is crawdads in most of the lakes, and then other small fish, white bass, crappie, bluegills. So we're going to focus on doing things differently on this channel. If you're looking at walleye fishing, like I said, most people go out and they soak a night crawler or a leech all day long. And yeah, days they're going to catch walleye. They're going to catch their limit. And they're going to catch some big ones. But we're going to do a little bit different. We're going to focus on bass fishing and walleye fishing. If you go to any lake around here, people are bass fishing, they're going to be beating the shoreline. They're going to go around the shoreline of their favorite cove or their favorite body of water. They're going to throw a spinnerbait or a plastic worm, and yeah, they're going to catch some fish. They're not going to catch the biggest fish in the lake. They might catch a big one here and there. But we're going to do it different. And I'm going to show you how. We're going to be aggressive. That's how we're going to be different. We're fishing out of a 98 Skeeter bass boat. And we're not going to have a trolling motor. We will have an electric trolling motor, but we're not going to have a kicker motor to troll with. And then I don't generally ice fish. I don't have ice fishing equipment. I used to a little bit when I was younger. But during the winter, we're going to find places to fish open water. So we can find fish that we want to catch. Around here, it's the end of December and people have just started ice fishing. So you check out Pig Patrol TV. Josh, he's been ice fishing somewhere in Nebraska. It didn't look like it was very safe. But he's been catching some fish and he caught a nice muskie I saw. And then a lot of guys like Milliken fishing, he goes, other places down to Texas. I'm so jealous he's been down with Ike and Ellie for a week. That's a dream right there. That actually kind of what led me to start this channel is I watched the very first episode of Milliken. Milliken's probably my favorite YouTube angler. Lives here in Omaha, Nebraska. And I saw him, and he's fishing with Mike Iaconelli, who's my longtime idol of bass fishing since I was a young kid. Love his energy, love everything he does, and it sounds like he's a great guy to boot, so you can't beat that. So I said, I gotta put my feet in the fire and jump in here. If I don't get any subscribers, that's fine. If I get like a ton, that's awesome, you know. I just want to do something with fishing. It's my passion. So I'm gonna put it out there, and we're gonna go from there. So the key thing we're gonna do is we're gonna be aggressive in our fishing trips. We're going to not do the typical things, and I'm going to tell you about how we're doing it, and we're going to catch fish. And the number one rule is going to be we're not going to use any live bait, unless I'm fishing with the kids. They might put a night crawler on a bobber or something, but for the most part we're not going to use any live bait. At times you're going to see my wife, my children fishing with me, because this is a family sport. It's what I love. We have an annual campsite at a local lake here, so we'll be doing a lot of fishing from that lake, but we'll also fish you know, all different places around the state and in Kansas, South Dakota. I think I'm going to be fishing a bass tournament tour here in the next summer, starting I think in April or May. Some of the lakes in South Dakota, some here, and some in Kansas, and we'll be focusing on, or I'll show you all those tournaments and what my plan is to fish them. So yeah, that's what this channel is about. It's Unconventional Angler. I want to welcome you guys again, and take a moment to subscribe if this sounds interesting. Don't be afraid to like the video, and make sure you hit the bell so your notifications are turned on so you can catch all my amazing content. This is my very first time filming anything. I used a GoPro and a DSLR camera. The DSLR didn't catch much because I guess the memory card was more full than it needed to be, which, surprise, surprise. So I'm gonna show you what I've got, and I promise it'll get better from here on out. So welcome, and I'll talk about next what we were doing for this trip. So there's a lake south of us in Kansas that has a spillway that in the wintertime they lower the lake, so they start letting out water usually in November or December. And last fall we crushed the walleye there, and there's a lot of white bass, wipers, catfish, and smallmouth bass, but focus on walleye here. The walleye will move up there as soon as they start letting water out. So I've been watching this. You can check on the internet for the Corps of Engineers looks out or publishes the flow by on a weekly basis, or actually on a daily basis, of all their streams and dams. So I've been watching, and they haven't been letting water out at all. And so about 2 weeks ago, it was flowing about 50 cubic feet per second, which is just a trickle, and it increased to 600 cubic feet per second. So I was like, oh, it's on. So I called my friend Kelly. I said, we got to get down there, man. So we decide on a day, and the deal with this spillway is there's a lot of small walleye, especially so this last year they drained it completely, so it's going to take a while for it's really good again, but it's full of small walleye. There's no length limit at all, so there's it's a good opportunity for a lot of eater walleye, but there are going to be some big ones in there. They're just going to be more difficult to catch. There's the water comes out, and there's two concrete walls that separate the area from where the water comes out so it doesn't erode all the rocks and everything. And right where that concrete wall ends, there's a big hole. My friend thinks it's around 30 foot deep. And then it tapers up towards the shoreline, you know, obviously to 0 feet. And the walleye tend to sit right on the inside edge of that wall to get out of the current, but also to catch all the bait fish that are coming out. So what we do is, what we found that works is most people come down there and they're going to throw out live bait, night crawlers, minnows, and they're catching some fish, but they're not really catching any. And so really not that many people fish down there because they don't know how to catch them. And so this is actually a trick that my friend Kelly taught me, is you get these VMC moon eye jigs, and if you look at it, it's shaped like an aspirin, and it's not as round as a regular round head jig. So it allows it to have less interference as it falls towards the bottom, and it gets down there a lot easier. It's a 1/4 ounce, and then we pair that up with a gulp minnow. This is the 4-inch gulp minnow, comes in a package. You just hook that right on there, just like so, and you got your little bait treat. Now the gulp minnow does come in a 3-inch version and other colors. This is a Fire Tiger 3-inch, and this is just the regular, I think it's smelt color in a 3-inch. Day by day, you gotta kind of figure out the size that they want to bite because it changes. But I keep all my gulp stuff in this little container, which keeps it nice and sealed, and you don't have to open up a bag every time. And gulp itself does not interfere with each other. The color won't fade onto other baits, but if you mix, you know, gulp with other plastics, it could fade, so don't do that. But I keep my gulp in there to keep it nice and juicy. It has a nice stink to it. I can smell it now. It's great. So anyway, what we try to do is we try to pitch our jig right next to the wall, let it fall all the way to the bottom, and then you have to hop that jig so it's coming, it goes all the way to the bottom, it sits, and you just let it sit there, and then you just hop it up real quick and let it fall. So walleye's watching it. This is almost a reaction bite is what it is. Fish is sitting there watching it, it's just sitting there, all of a sudden it pops up and goes down, boom, they just smoke it. It's a type of reaction bite. It's not as aggressive as a lot of reaction bites are, but it is what it is. If you're using live bait down there, you're not going to keep a minnow on a night crawler. This stuff flows like crazy. I was using up to a 3/4 ounce weight on a drop shot and couldn't keep it on the ground. So anyway, so we get out there like 5:30 in the morning and it's still dark out, and we catch our limit of 14-inch walleye in like 30 minutes before the sun even comes up. So I did not get most of it on film, mistake on my part, but I put on the camera and thought, you know, I'm gonna try to start, we'd already got our limit of the eater size, so I started tying on baits to trigger the bite, to hopefully maybe trigger a bigger bite. So I put on, this is a Norasada Custom Baits blade bait, comes from Washington State, a lot of big walleye out there, and it's a walleye killer. Did not get any bites. It's hard to fish a blade bait down there because it's so rocky, and as you can see, it's loaded with treble hooks, so it gets snagged super easy. I did either snag a fish or catch a fish on it, but it broke off. Most likely snagged a carp or a drum or something. But so anyway, as soon as I put on the camera, we realized that the spillway had released the Kraken. So check this out. Yeah. Is it really? Jesus.
It's real big.
What is it, you think?
I don't know. Flathead?
Careful.
Big.
Jesus. Matriarch, baby.
That's a big,
Holy shit, is that like a state record, bro?
Yeah. It's a 20 pounder though.
That's the biggest drum I've ever seen.
I caught one about that big at Harlan that one time.
Hold that sucker up.
You got your camera?
Yeah. That camera's recording too.
Holy drum.
Let's show Pig Patrol about that. Jeez. Nice. It's filming. That's awesome. So after Kelly catches that hog, I decided it's time to, I thought I'd maybe try a drop shot for a little while. So I put a drop shot on with like a 3/4 ounce pencil weight and a 4-inch gulp minnow. And I cast that around for a while and was able to catch one more walleye, and you can see that right here. There's one. Huh? Big one. I don't know what it is. It's a walleye. It's not big. I thought it was. This is all ice. Ah! He was up by the corner there. Drop shot, yeah. Broke my damn weight off too. Is he small?
Yeah, awesome. About the same size as all the other ones you got in there. I'm surprised we only got one decent one.
Okay, so after I caught that walleye, I ended up throwing it back. It was about the same size as the others. Nothing big. And I went on, Kelly kept trying the same bait. He's very traditional, or not traditional, but he sticks with what works. I decided I'm going to try a bunch of different stuff to see if I can trigger a bigger bite or catch some smallmouth, something else. So I throw a underspin with a paddle tail. I think I used a Berkeley, I can't remember what it's called. It's a Berkeley swimming shad or something. And I used the blade bait. I tried some Kitech paddle tails with and without underspins, and I tried the Dropshot some more, and really didn't get any other bites on anything. You can see some of that here, and just watch what I'm catching. You can just kind of see the area and listen to us being idiots. Lost my damn weight. Guess we retie.
People ask me why I bring a net down. They don't know.
They don't know about the mother drum.
There's a lot of mother fish period down here. All species.
Felt big, that one.
Huh?
That one felt big.
Yeah. They all do when they're hooked in the tail.
Shit. It's a nice flip.
Like that?
Yeah. Right on the old wall.
A little sketchy down there, huh?
Yeah, it's slick. It's the damn ice capades. Got like a 3/4 ounce weight on here.
Really?
Yeah. It's the only thing that'll keep it.
Can't get down there.
I can't, it won't stay in one spot. But I can at least feel bottom. Oh, damn it. I know, it's probably all my lures are in there. From last fall, too. Right by the wall. And we're on bottom. Got a 3/4 ounce weight and it's just moving on its own. Better go get the pyramid weights out.
The 6 ounce 8-seeker.
Yeah. What the hell you got there? It's cheating. No one offered me any hot hands.
People up north treat their hands over walleyes that big.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's gonna fry up right nice right there. That's gonna fry up real nice. We take that home to Martha, she'll fry it right up. What do you mean grilled walleye? No, we fry them up with the cornbread. One time I used a cornbread breading in front of my brother and he socked me in the mouth. Oh, you mother. He was just nibbling on it. Probably took my fucking minnow off. Nope. Get these minnows at the bait store for $3.99 a dozen. Really lively. Zebra. Oh. And folks, this is what they're eating, these zebra mussels. Get about 40 of them on your line, cast it out there. That's gonna be good. Oh Lord, bring home some walleye for me to eat. Then after a while the sun gets up more, and at this place, once the sun comes up, the walleye bite generally turns off. And then as the sun gets up a little more, the walleye, or not the walleye, the wipers and the white bass tend to turn on. Kelly says he's got some stripers down there. I've never caught a striper. So the wiper and white bass bite turns on. Kelly catches like 5 in a row. I catch a 0. So I think all I caught all day was like 5 or 7 walleye. And Kelly caught like 10 walleye and 5 wipers in that big drum. So he kind of outfished me today, which he usually does. This kid's like a guru, so, or kid, this guy. And he catches the 5 wipers in a row, and those are right here. Got one? Ooh! I don't like it. I mean, I don't not like it, but we got plenty of good fish to worry about those. Where was he at? Big? He's got a giant on. Me a net? Huh? Jeez, it's a good size one.
Might be a striper.
There you go.
Tony? No?
No, it's a wiper.
Yeah, it's a wiper. I've been catching some nice fucking stripers here.
Have you? I've never caught a striper.
Give me one.
This thing falls to the bottom nice. Got another one. Right there.
Get to bite every cast.
So after that, the white bass wiper bite kind of shut off, and we decided to call it a day about 11 o'clock, which is pretty typical of the spillway. For some reason, it's just a super fast morning bite, and then it shuts off. And then we had one guy show up to fish like right as we were about to leave, and I'm like, oh, I felt pity for him because probably wasn't going to catch much. I think he was soaking a 1 ounce Carolina rig down there with live bait. I didn't see him catch anything. He was there for maybe an hour before we left, but yeah, it's tough down there. So we decided to call it a day, and that was it. It was a pretty good day. We had some walleye to eat. My son absolutely loves walleye, so I fried them up that night. They're absolutely delicious and tender. I mean, a 13 to 17 inch walleye is, there ain't much better to eat when it comes to fish. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this first video. I'm open to comments if you see anything that you like or have any kind of suggestions. I'm more than open to change or do anything that you might think. And if you have any suggestions on baits you'd like me to try or ideas, one of the main things I'm going to try once the walleye, once the spring rolls around, the open water hits, is I'm going to try it. I am going to catch a walleye on an A-rig. There's no reason why they want to bite that. It looks like a group of shad swimming around. So we're going to catch a walleye on an A-rig. We're going to catch a lot of walleyes on swim baits, I'll promise you. We're going to show you some different techniques, and we are going to catch the heck out of them this summer. It's going to be a good year. Make sure you subscribe for more videos. They're going to keep coming. I'm going to try to do it weekly at least, and in the summertime we'll definitely amp it up. We'll do more than 1 week. So we'll do some bait reviews. I'm a big 6 Cents fan. I have 0 sponsorships. I have a couple of pro staff positions where I just get discounts on baits with Vector hooks and Titan tungsten and line taming serum. So I don't make any money from those. Everything you get from me is going to be completely honest. And then I will review some baits and show you what I like to use, and we'll go from there. I want to thank you guys for watching and checking out again soon.